Good morning, this is Rich Nelson with Allendale with a special update regarding USDA's monthly supply-demand report. Today is November 10th of 2015. Now, going into this report, the trade had expected a very slight bump up in terms of production for both corn and soybeans, and also for some lower numbers for demand, mainly exports, and therefore some higher ending stocks. USDA certainly gave us those expectations, fulfilled all our dreams, and in fact certainly added a little more tonnage to the supply situation than what people had expected here. As far as corn, yields were increased from 168.0 to now 169.3. This helped add 99 million bushels to production compared with their October estimate here. No changes were made to acreage as they certainly shouldn't have either. So no change on acreage, 99 million bushels higher for production. USDA went ahead and they did drop numbers as far as ethanol usage by 75 million bushels. They dropped exports, which was our key concern, by 50 million bushels. So good that they're finally recognizing the problems on demand here, and those are partially offset by a 25 million bushel increase for feed use. So the net change on ending stocks, 1.561 last month, now 1.760, certainly over the estimates for 1.6 million bushels. Also bearish as far as USDA's movements on corn were their revisions to previous year numbers on China here. Get this, the 2013-14 crop year, they lowered China's numbers as far as feed use by 4 million tons. Last year's feed use, so what's actually been completed as of, in this case for China, as of the end of September, just a couple months ago, they dropped 17 million tons out of that year's feed use mix. So with those revisions, we certainly found quite a bit extra regarding the beginning stocks for our current year situation. Beginning stocks went from 196 million tons, now 208. So these are pretty significant changes for just 1 month to make here regarding USDA's changes. Also on the production side, there were increases for Argentina and Brazil's corn crops. Those are partially offset by lower numbers for European Union, FSU, and Ukraine as well here. So main issues as far as corn, world corn ending stocks went from 188 million tons, now 212 million tons. So bearish on corn for both domestic and world. As far as soybeans, same story on the domestic side here. A good increase in production, in this case 93 million bushels. This is characterized by no change in acreage, which certainly is what was expected. And as far as yields, they went from 47.2 to now 48.3. So higher production. Regarding the usage here, we're actually surprised by USDA's changes on usage. They added 10 million tons to crush, or 10 million bushels to crush. That's very reasonable. However, the surprise came in the form of exports. They added 40 million bushels to the previous export number, despite the fact that our export sales are sharply under last year's levels at this time. So despite the fact that China's been favoring South America's soybeans, when traditionally this is our market to get exports done, USDA actually gave us a surprise by adding to their export estimate. So ending stocks go from 425 million bushels to now 465. That was over the trade's expectation. Now regarding the world side for soybeans, no real changes actually to speak of on the production side. In fact, they left Argentina and Brazil unchanged with their October estimates here. They did make some minor changes for China's usage. They added about 1.5 million tons for imports. They added about 3/4 of a million ton here for domestic crush. Net results as far as ending stocks, they fell from 85 million tons to now 83 million tons. No major change there. So bearish domestic beans, world maybe slightly positive. Regarding wheat here, looks like only change on the domestic side, a 50 million drop for exports. That certainly was very reasonable. Therefore, ending stocks went from 861 to 911 million bushels. As far as world wheat, no major changes actually surprisingly to speak of regarding the main crop numbers. Australia was reduced by 1 million tons. USDA is now at 26 million ton. That's about two higher than the current private trade estimate here. So USDA still has to lower Australia's crop in the coming months. That certainly will happen. Regarding other countries, only Russia down by about 500,000 otherwise here. So as far as changes on the world wheat side, 228 million tons for ending stocks last month, now 227. So today's report certainly was bearish. Higher numbers for domestic and world for corn. Higher numbers for domestic beans, slightly lower on the world side. As a whole, this is certainly a bearish report for corn. Moderately bearish for soybeans here regarding the current price reaction of corn down 5, beans down 10 to 11 here. We probably will see corn take a little bit lower in the next couple hours. We'll see if it holds, though. This 360 range on corn certainly will be an area which many people like to defend here. If you have any questions about this report, markets, or marketing in general, feel free to give Allendale a call, 1-800-262-7538.